Hi, and welcome back to my film and TV channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. We've got a film review today. Yes, one that this is episode 3 of it. It's first appeared in 1994, so almost 30 years. So yes, I did have the original to this in my video shop at the time in 1995, and then by the time the second one came along, I did have that on DVD in the video shop as well. So we're talking about Clerks or Clerks 3, as I'm British, we probably say Clerks, not Clerks, but Clerks 3 or Clerks 3. Please, if you are new to the channel, push that subscribe button. I try and inform and entertain if I can. Push that little notification thing as well, so you know when these blogs are coming out. I do film reviews, TV drama reviews, information blogs. So if you can join me, it'd be great to have you on board, and please spread the word. And of course, leave us your comments on this film or anything to do with film and TV, and you can give us a thumbs up, guys. It'd be much appreciated. Right, yes, Clerks 3. Let's call it Clerks 3. Let's not keep going Clerks and Clarks. Let's call it Clerks 3. Written, produced, directed and edited by Kevin Smith, of course, and it serves as a standalone sequel. Yeah, you don't particularly, excuse me, unless you watch the others, and obviously you're a die-hard fan, you don't need to particularly have watched any of the others. It's a standalone sequel. There's certain things in it you probably need to know from previous incarnations. But obviously, standalone sequel to the 1994 Clerks, which rates on IMDB. I just had a quick look at 7.7 out of 10, and Clerks 2 that rates at 7.3 out of 10. Yeah, I wasn't as interested in Clerks 2 as I was 1, in all fairness. And it's the ninth overall feature film set in the View Askew universe. Yes, so if you know what that is, I don't know what it is, but I'm sure you do if you know your stuff. This is actually out on DVD and Blu-ray, online and in store in the UK on December the 5th. So if you want it, you like it, someone might buy it as a Chrissy present. Right, Rotten Tomatoes, what about the audience? What about Joe Public? Rotten Tomatoes audience, they like it. 4.6 out of 5 and 93% positivity. And they do go on to say that this is for the View Askew-universe faithful. Clerks 3 proves that even if life might be a series of down endings, franchises can finish on a high note. Internet Movie Database, Joe Public, yeah, again, very good. A lot of reviews, 6.7 out of 10, a 78% positivity. Nothing wrong with that. But slightly different is the Metascore users, the other critic site we look at. Their audience is only giving it a 4.6 out of 10. So they sort of buck the trend just a little bit. And what's it about? Well, in the film, Randall Graves, who after surviving a massive heart attack, enlists his friends and fellow clerks to make a movie about their lives at the quick stop convenience store that started it all. Yeah, lots of if you think about some other films that have been rehashed, it's not the most original storyline, but it is what it is. It stars Brian O'Halloran, Jeff Anderson, Marilyn Gigliotti, Rosario Dawson, Trevor Furman, Jason Mewes, Kevin Smith, and others as well. And it's released on September the 13th. Yes, I'm recording this as that's on August. Sorry, guys. I'm recording this on October the 18th, 2022. So all scores and comments that I give you are as at 12 noon or 1 p.m. Around about UK time. What about the critics? Well, the public seem to like it, apart from the Metacritic users. What about the critics themselves? Well, not as overly impressed. Rotten Tomatoes aren't too bad on it. They give it a 64% positivity rate, and that's based on 118 reviews, which is pretty good. 75 fresh and 43 rotten, so still a fair chunk of rotten in there. An average rating of 6.1 out of 10. Their consensus reads, Clerks 3 isn't even supposed to be here today, but this surprisingly emotional return to the quick stop wraps up the trilogy in fan-pleasing fashion. Yes, that's if it does wrap up the trilogy. I mean, there are hints that there will be more, but let's call it quits here, guys. Metacritic, the other site I said we look at, a score of just 50 out of 100. Yeah, only halfway. That's based on 25 critics. They scored anywhere between 25 out of 100 and 91 out of 100. And if you break down their critics, 11 were positive, 8 were mixed, and 6 were negative. So we're getting a fairly standardised view from the critics as well. How about naming and blaming or acclaiming? How about that? Well, we've got certain people here. We've got Kevin Mayer from the Times in the UK. He said it was very occasionally charming, but also barrel scraping. Yeah, I think that there were charming bits, but obviously it didn't help the length of this thing. It was just under 2 hours. It was far too long. Michael O'Sullivan from Washington Post said, "Clerks 3 is a movie for die-hard fans and die-hard only. Possibly, I was a big fan of the original, not so much the second one, and probably not so much the third one. The law of diminishing returns, it's called, isn't it? I say it's a bit downhill since that first one for me personally, anyway." Ben Travis of Empire magazine, I think he's a bit more positive. He said, "It's comedically uneven and overly distracted by side characters." I totally agree with that. But when Clerks 3 gets to the heart of Dante and Randall's decades-long friendship, it's enough to assure you that Kevin Smith is still open for business. Possibly, sadly. Leslie Felprin from The Guardian said on this one, "Like the junk food that the central characters sell in their convenience store, it's a strangely Moorish brew that you enjoy but feel faintly guilty about consuming, like nachos with cheese-flavoured sauce or a blue slushy ice drink." So not good for you then, that's for sure. The New York Times' Glenn Kenny, "3 words characterise the first third or so of the picture. Not funny enough." Yeah, I think that is very true from Glenn. I found it took so long to get bored. I was beginning to glaze over by the time I found bits I quite liked. Yeah, just not funny enough, some of this for me. Very true. Variety, Andrew Barker said, is this all wildly self-indulgent? A bit. Does it feel like the products of a filmmaker with plenty of fresh ideas? Not really. Has Smith lost his fastball as a writer? You could certainly make that case. And the screenplay's attempts to recapture some of the rapid-fire pop culture references and X-rated musings of the director's heyday, we didn't get anywhere near, I don't think, often land painfully wide of the mark. But there's something strangely poignant about it all the same. Yeah, poignancy, yes. Fun and entertaining. Probably not. So that brings you on to, I'm just going to summarise. As you can see, I wasn't overly impressed with this. A big fan of Clerks 1. I did Clerks 1, Clerks 1. I did enjoy it back in the day. I'm 28 years older. Perhaps these guys should have matured a little bit more as well than they have done, and a bit more grown-up humour within it. But it just was too long for me, this episode. It knocked half an hour off and get a few of the funnies in early. It might have been a little bit better, but as I said, I was all a bit glazed over by the time. I sort of smiled at a couple of funny lines or a couple of scenes, if you like. So it really doesn't add anything to what I've seen before. It did, as I said, it did make me smile once or twice. The verbal worked occasionally, but all too easily lost in so much routine and unfunny chat and characters. It was hard to pick out the good bits. Definitely for our die-hard fans. If you're a big fan of this, I'm sure you'll like it. But I was a little bit bored. I say the 28 years between this and the original, for me, didn't age very well. So that's my impressions. I say I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Just as it was okay. Just such a shame. I mean, if there is another one, I'm not going to rush out and watch it. That's for sure. I just found the humour sadly hasn't aged very well, or certainly not aged very well for me anyway. Perhaps I'm an old misery now. I don't know. And as I said, this is out to buy here in the UK, or if you want to buy it for Christmas on December the 5th, $9.99 DVD, $14.99 Blu-ray. Let me know your thoughts, guys. If you're big fans, if you're not big fans, what do you think? As I said, not just not enough that was funny for me. It's such a shame. Thanks for watching, guys. Anyway, until we meet again, that's one thing, please stay safe, everyone. Bye for now.